leap of faith.
This is the way. Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Tells me you're relentless.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Film Optix, brought to you by the Drive-In Podcast Network, where we discuss film, TV, and everything pop culture related. I'm your host, Christian, and I'm joined by the man himself, Devin. And in this episode, we're going to be discussing Fear Street, Part 1, 1994. And as always, before we begin today's show, you can listen to our podcasts on platforms around the internet. And if you're a new or seasoned listener to the show, we would love to hear from you. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Film Optix. That is Optix with an X. So, Devin, again, how are you doing today? We just finished one.
I'm doing good. Going from Loki to Fear Street.
Loki to Fear Street. There we go. There we go. Very, very
fearful Loki.
Fearful. Honestly, yeah. And, you know, I'm very, very excited that we are doing this because this isn't like me at all, Devin. This is very
I remember. I know I told you these were coming out. I watched it, I think, last Friday when it came out, but I didn't say anything. I thought it was a good time, but you kind of watched it. You kind of watched it on your own. Sounds like you got involved in the hype.
I did. And, you know, and I didn't really know what it was because you said Hawke was a part of it. I was like, okay. And then like
big Stranger Things vibes.
Yeah. Very, very big Stranger Things vibes. And I don't know. First I was like, let's watch Fear Street. And you know what? We're late to the game a little bit, but that's okay because this is a trilogy, Devin. There's three. This
is a new way of storytelling.
It really is. I actually prefer this way over just the one and done. I am more of a TV shell, but you know, I've been watching a lot of Victorious. I'm not going to lie. It's been going through the old Nickelodeon Paramount Plus back catalog. So got to get some kind of use out of it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Devin, I watched it, like you said, last week when it first came out. I watched it this past weekend. So this is going to be part one of a 3-part series for all of you listening at home. So Fear Street Part 1, 1994. We're just kind of dive straight into this one because it has been out for a week, and Part 2 is coming out later this on Friday. Actually, by the time people are listening to this, Part 2 is already out, and we'll be doing a Part 2 review with Amanda over at AMXNDA Reviews. Really got to get that down, and possibly Leo over at Geekly Goods. If not, it'll just be me, you, and Amanda, you know, shooting some stuff and kind of just messing around, kind of around, and just having a good old time, you know.
Yeah, that button is actually a good segue into what I think makes this movie the most entertaining. They made it rated R. Because it's definitely, you could definitely tell it's more geared towards kids, and I didn't realize it, but it is based on a book series by R.L. Stine, which makes sense. But I didn't know that. But they went rated R, which definitely saved it for me, I think, because there were some really, really gruesome kills that horror fans are definitely going to enjoy. And I think a good movie to compare this to is, I don't know if you ever watched that. Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, that movie that came out a few years ago.
No, I did not watch it. So
see, that's kind of like the opposite of this, because it's like based on a book series, kind of geared towards kids, but they went with PG-13, and it ended up being really lame because of that.
I do remember people being mad about the rating, much so like Venom. The first Venom one I think the second one's supposed to be rated PG-13 as well. And I think that was just more of a, but it's weird because it's like, when it comes to these kind of stories, what do you rate it as? Because it's like, you want it to appeal as many people as possible. And I guess, yes, going to PG-13 route would be
that's the beauty of Netflix, is that it's not in theaters, so you don't have to worry about kids not being able to go in and see it. Like they can just
Yeah.
open Netflix and watch it.
That is true. I mean, and kids can watch Stranger Things. So it's, I mean, yeah, there's a few curse words in there, but in Fear Street, obviously, there is way more blood and just overall the classic slasher horror. And I need to say this right now. I'm not a horror fan at all. I need to find a gasp, like a gasp sound bite to put in here. Be like, you know. But yes, I'm not a slasher fan or just horror. It's like I keep saying that I'm not a fan of horror, but then I keep watching all these horror movies because, like, I really loved Midsummer because my girl Florence Pugh. Ready or Not, I think that's more geared towards something like this. This might be a little bit more gruesome with 1994 Part 1, but yeah, I really, really enjoyed this. I was like, holy crap. I watched a good slasher film, and it wasn't Freddy, it wasn't Jason, it wasn't Scream, Halloween, like all those I really just don't care for. But there's something about this. Maybe it is the Stranger Things vibes that I just really, really connected with.
It had the good 90s vibes too.
Yeah. Us being 90 kids, this definitely helps for sure. Even though I was only 2 years old technically when this when these events took place. So I don't think the Witch will be coming after me.
and I think one of the things that differentiates this from other slashers is it's not just a guy that's going around killing people. There's like a mythical, like magical element to it.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the things that kind of pulled me towards this because I knew it was a 3-parter, and I knew, like I said, I knew you were talking about it. It's like, you know what, Devin? Anytime there's like a good horror, just like, hey, like we should review this week. Let me know because I need to, you know.
Well, did you see that? Did you see that new Halloween trailer?
No, I did not.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
that's gonna be good.
I need to watch it. I have a feeling we're going to be watching it we're going to be reviewing it here on the show. So that's totally fine. But you know, this is a diverse podcast, Evan. We don't just talk about superheroes and all that good stuff. You know, we like to talk about the indies, the large and the small.
We go from people in costumes to people in costumes.
Literally. And I feel like our diversity is definitely there. I mean, what did we review first of the year? The Ultimate Playlist of Noise, which is like crazy.
Hidden gem.
Yeah, it really was like, man, I can't talk about that anymore. That ending freaking killed me. But we are here talking about Fear Street, of course. Speaking
of the costumes, that's one complaint I had is I didn't love the costumes they had for the killers. Like it's just a generic skull guy.
Yeah. And then the guy
I think one of them was scary. The baghead guy was kind of scary.
Dude, he was
first of all, I just want to say, like, I don't think this was very scary at all. I'm sure you can agree. Like, if you're worried about that going in, it's not, but it makes up for it by being fun.
Yeah,
to me, like it's definitely cheesy in like the 90s horror type of way, but that's kind of the fun of it.
Yeah,
and then that combined with the rated R is what gives it like the perfect recipe for it to be entertaining. Because if it was PG-13, like I said. No, I don't think it would have worked.
I agree with you.
Because to be cheesy and then to have like lame kills, there's just like nothing there.
There was some pretty good kills in this, man. Like they were
that bread slicer.
Oh my.
Yep, that's the one.
R.I.P. I knew people were gonna.
I didn't think she was gonna die.
I didn't think themselves. I thought other people did, but it's like it really just like it's this. It is a coming of age story at the same time, and I think that's another reason why I loved it so much.
And LGBTQ won it. That
and it's just I don't know what it is, man. Like coming of age stories, they just get me every freaking time, every single time. I gotta cue that up every single time. Be like, holy shit. I'm sorry. I've been using that way too much. It's a new update that came with my soundboard. So That was one of the things I knew that was coming. I was like, yes. So, but anyway, back on track. When it came to the characters, the costumes, I do agree. You know, like you kind of have like Scream with like the Scream mask, and then you had the skull, and then the guy with like the bag over his head. I think he was the scariest one, just because he was like really charging at you.
Yeah, I like how they run in this movie. Like most slashers, they're very slow and they walk towards you, but these dudes were sprinting.
Yeah. Like and like you, to your point when you said like it's not a scary movie. Like yes, there is gore, but yeah, there are like jump scares. But I don't think I fell for any of them. Maybe like one or two, but it wasn't like it's. I don't think its purpose isn't to scare you, because it is trying to tell you a story. It's just there are those like horror slasher elements there, but I don't think that's the main juice of it all, if that makes any sense. I know it's weird to say because it is literally called Fear Street, but it is more about so the characters than it is.
Yeah, the best
threat.
word I use to describe it is it's just fun.
Yeah,
it's just a fun movie.
Yeah, it really, really is. So, Devin, who is your favorite character out of the bunch so far?
Did you like the guy from Woman in the Window? The bad guy from Woman in the Window?
He did a better job in this than in Woman in the Window.
Yeah, I'll say that.
I was like, what's going on?
He was still a weird character in this one, but it kind of worked.
Yeah,
comedic relief.
He did play a very, very strange character. And then you had I think
our girl Maya Hawke dies right away.
R.I.P. Honestly, I thought she was gonna last longer than that, because during the very beginning, because they say, oh, it's a prank that's gone wrong, and it's like I'm like, oh, she's like dead. Like I thought that like her friend was kind of messing with her, and it's like, oh no, she's gone. Like within the first 15 minutes of the movie. And that kind of just gets the adrenaline rushing. It's like, hey, like this is the kind of movie this is. Like this, here's the elements.
It's very smart of them to throw in known Stranger Things actors.
Yeah,
she's in this one. Sadie Sink's in the second one.
Yep, part 2.
I'm guessing there'll be someone in the third one. Who are they going to throw in there?
Honestly,
Millie's a little busy.
Yeah. I was gonna say
Finn's probably busy.
Finn, he did Ghostbusters.
David Harbour's busy.
David Harbour. We could get Caleb.
Sure.
Yeah,
he's pretty busy too. I guess he's been in some stuff.
Or Dustin.
Yeah, he probably doesn't have much going on.
Or Will. I haven't seen Will in a lot.
Yeah.
Will's looking for that paycheck, guys. Let's keep it going.
Steve Harrington.
No. Steve. You know
what? He would have fit in this one really well.
Just sprinkle the entire Stranger Things cast throughout everything.
I mean, that's working so far.
It really is. And you know, we'll definitely be watching part 2 here soon. And thank you for Netflix for sending that over to us. Just wanted to give them a little bit of a shout out. But yeah, like part 1, it was just so good. Like adrenaline was like rushing the entire time. Even like the kills themselves, like you kind of like your expectations were subverted. It wasn't not believable, but like it wasn't predictable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It really was just like the whole, like with oh my gosh, with Kiana Madria's character. Sam? Was that Sam, or is her
Dina,
and Sam was her lover, girlfriend.
So, and I love that. Yeah, I love that twist where it shows she's kind of looking at this guy and this girl at the football game. They're kind of making out, but you think it's the guy that she's looking at, but
nope, it's the lady.
It's a good twist there.
That was a really nice twist. Like they get into so many arguments like throughout, like and obviously, you know, it is these two characters. You have Dina and Sam who clearly still care about each other, but you know, Sam has moved away from Shadyside over to, was it Sunnyvale? I believe it was.
Yeah, the names.
Yeah.
Shady and Sunny. Classic.
And I mean, literally, and I didn't really mention this earlier, but literally the synopsis is a circle of teenage friends accidentally encountering an ancient evil responsible for a series of brutal murders that's been happening in Shadyside for so long that has plagued their town for over 300 years. And welcome to Shadyside. So it's very just, like you said, the mythical parts there. You have the witch, and you see all of these, like these countless murders that have been going on in Shadyside. And it's like, holy like, that's a lot of murders, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, this is crazy right now. Like, oh my gosh. It's just, I don't know what it is, but I really love how they started putting the pieces together. I love Dina's, her brother as well. We didn't really see too much of the parents. Like, there were barely any parents in part one, but I guess that's just part of everything. Like,
that's normal for slashers and horror movies.
Yeah.
There's never any parents around.
Yeah. Even with Stranger Things, it's like, I mean, you have a few here and there, but it's mainly just about the kids saving the day. But what did you think about Sam's sacrifice and how they approach that?
Yeah, I wasn't really expecting that, to be honest. I thought they would find a way to kind of avoid any sacrifice happening, but they had this plan where she would die and then come back.
Yeah. And I really like how with oh my gosh, the kid from Woman in the Window, I'm blanking on his name, and the Asian actor, you know, with their dynamic, how they were drug dealers.
Yeah, I don't really know what their relationship was. Friends, I guess. Yeah,
at first I thought they were dating, but then Dina's brother was like kind of crushing on God, I'm so sorry. I'm literally blanking on her name, and I don't have the IMDb in front of me. I was going to look it up. Kate. Yeah, he was crushing.
I did like Dina's brother too, Josh. I thought he was nice and relatable. The nice
guy in the chair?
computer guy who's got all the knowledge on the killers.
Guy in the chair. He was literally the Ned of that group. But yeah, he was, you know, this is the early 90s, like we said. Well, more so closer to mid 90s. You know, the internet is just now becoming a thing. We see him online chatting with someone who we don't know who that is, by the way. It looks like they were kind of doing their little role playing with like the king and the queen, like the jester type thing, or the servants. So I really want to know who's on the other end of that keyboard. But we, as you said, you know, we do find out that, you know, in order for this curse to kind of, well, the beginning of the curse, when, you know, Sam gets into the car accident with the school bus in Sunnyvale, you know, she kind of like, she falls on the witch's grave. I think that's what triggered her. Like,
yeah, that was kind of messy the way they set that up.
Yeah, that was weird, because I was like, well, is it the fact that, you know, because at first I thought Sam was like related to the witch or something of that nature, but it doesn't seem that way. It just seems that she like disturbed her grave, from what I think happened. You know, she was bleeding, so it's like the entire time, you know, these figures were not after the entire group, but they were after Sam. But it's like, if anyone had a, you know, blood or like a sense of Sam's blood on her, just some kind of spackle or whatever, they would die too, because you see that throughout the movie where, you know, you have the perpetrators, the slashers, like running straight by like Dina's brother and going straight for someone who has Sam's scent on it. But I thought that was pretty interesting. But yeah, I do agree with, I really don't know. I guess it's just Sam disturbs her grave, which seems very R.L. Stine to begin with. Yeah. Something just simple to kind of trigger everything, and they're trying to figure it out. And they do a really, really good job with it, you know? But sorry, I've been rambling on for a while here. Was there any other points you wanted to bring up for this review?
I think we covered most of it.
Yeah. All right. So you want to get into ratings?
Let's do it.
All right, Devin. Okay. So on Letterboxd, I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars, which I think is a solid B plus. So I'm actually going to bump it up a little bit to an A minus.
Wow, that's a strong rating there.
It starts off really, really great. We kind of talked about our gripes with it, and they seem minor enough to warrant it A minus grade. But also, just want to throw that out there. If someone has like a rating review on Letterboxd, and it doesn't really necessarily correlate to like whatever their review is underneath, like media wise, like whether it's a written review or a podcast or a YouTube review, that doesn't always correlate, does not always equate to the Letterboxd scale out there. But Devin, have you created a Letterboxd yet?
I downloaded it a while ago, but just never got it started. Never got the ball rolling.
It's great. I'm telling you, man, it is. I love, like, at first, not gonna lie, I didn't really use it all that much. And then I kind of just started getting into it. There is like a pro version. I'm not sure what that entails, but I think it's like $20 a year, which isn't bad, but I need to figure out what that really entails in order to spend that money. But yeah, I just use, you can create a wish list, lists of like your top whatever of whatever franchise. So like I have like certain lists where I have like movies that like I've watched in 2021, and it actually just consists of 2021 like new releases, and I've done that for the past few years. But it's nice to kind of just keep track of everything that you have watched. I really do like it. But
yeah, I keep forgetting what I've watched, so I might have to start.
There you go. All the more reason. But yeah, so Fear Street Part 1, 1994. I give it an A minus. Devin, what are you giving this film?
I was going to go with a C plus.
Ooh, okay. Very shocking.
Pretty,
for you.
very, very solid.
Uh-huh.
I definitely had some issues with it. It was definitely very corny throughout, which is expected to a certain extent, but it kind of gets evened out by the rated R, like I mentioned before, which is good. The killer design's not great. The story, like we mentioned, is a little muddy, like hard to follow at times.
Yeah, just that reasoning. It was weird.
I can see why the difference is in ours, because my horror taste is more like the hardcore horror, I guess. Like
I'm
Michael Myers. Like
yeah,
I love all the slashers.
Yeah, and I mean, we'll definitely review the new Halloween. It's not that I don't know what I am like the thriller shell, because I guess more of like the thriller suspenseful, that is more of like light horror, I guess you could say. But
yeah, this definitely falls in that category.
Yeah,
which is why it makes sense.
Yeah, horror light, H light. That's where I am. I'm telling you, dude, I will never watch Insidious ever again. I will never watch Us ever again, to be honest. That freaked me out like 100%. But I will watch Midsummer all through the day, but I will not watch Hereditary again.
Oh yeah.
Never. It's two different scales on the RES. There's Team Hereditary and there's Team Midsummer. I'm going Team Midsummer. It was more bizarre than horror, but
I'm team both.
I mean, I've watched Hereditary. I was just like, and it wasn't the whole head thing. I'm like, okay, whatever. It was like later on, it just kept building up. But the ending was very, very odd to me. But anyway, I digress. So a C plus for part 1 of Fear Street 1994 from Devin, and A minus for myself. So put it in the books. we're all good to go there. So again, thank you, Devin, as always, for coming on talking movies with us. By the time this is out, our part 2, we should be reviewing our part 2. Well, our part 2 should be out by the time this is out. I'm literally getting all my days mixed up. But anyway, as of this podcast recording, go check out our Black Widow and our Loki episode 5 reviews that are up on the podcast right now. And we will be reviewing part 2 later on with Amanda and hopefully with Leo. So yeah, like I said, a little bit late to the party, but honestly, you know what? It's just a really fun ride. Do I wish we would have gotten to this a little bit earlier? Sure, but better late than never. That should be the that should be the logo for Black Widow, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, again, thank you everyone for listening. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Film Optix. That is Optix with an X. We have a lot more to get through. Not sure if we're going to do a Space Jam 2 review just yet because Devin is moving during that weekend. But I am reviewing it on the In Session Film website. So you can actually go check out my review of Batman The Long Halloween Part 1 that is up on the In Session Film website as of right now. So I was very, very proud about that one. So anyway, thank you all for listening yet again. And we will see you guys next time. Let's get on out of here. If I can find the cue. Okay, there we go. We'll see you guys later on. And that's a wrap for today. Thank you all for listening. And if you enjoy the show, we greatly appreciate it if you can leave us a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts and follow us on Twitter at Film Optix. That is Optix with an X to stay in the know. That was Devin. My name is Christian, and we'll see you guys in the next one.